You could be training hard, doing your push-ups, pull-ups, and dips, and still not grow. All because you're skipping this one simple thing. I did the same for years, and it literally killed my calisthenics progress. But once I fixed this, I started to gain an insane amount of muscle and strength. So in this video, I'm breaking down exactly what that missing piece actually is, and why it matters, and how you can add it to your training today, so you can finally start getting those real gains that you are looking for. Let's get into the video. Now, what is this missing piece that I'm referring to? It is poor execution. Now, you might thought that I was gonna say some crazy shit or maybe some random stuff that you would feel comfortable with. It's like, yeah, that's why I'm not building muscle. It's maybe because I'm doing 1 rep too less. Very easy change that you can make. But the reality is, no. It's poor execution. And you have to work on this relentlessly. It takes a lot of time, especially with calisthenics, because calisthenics is all about execution. How do you perform the movement to be able to gain muscle? Listen, we are in the muscle building business, man. We build muscle with calisthenics. We're not trying to be the most impressive athlete. We're not trying to be the most strongest. We're not trying to be, the freestyle athletes on a bar doing all the tricks. We are trying to build our physiques up. Now, how do we do that with calisthenics training? We don't just do it with like doing a certain amount of exercises, a certain amount of reps, and then expecting muscle growth from it. Even though a lot of people have gained their physiques like that. And I have done that as well for a long ass time. But now I realize that if I want to make faster progress in muscle growth, strength, and way more when it comes to just my physique, I need to change the most important thing about training in general: execution. How do you execute? Now listen, when it comes to execution, in every single calisthenics exercise, we have to train that. But how do we train that? We have to first off practice each and every single movement to be able to eventually get it down solid. The thing about, for example, ring training, I promote a lot of ring training on this channel. And why do I do that? Because I think rings are the best tool to build muscle with calisthenics. I don't think it's resistance bands. I don't think it's the pull-up bar or the dip bar or push-up bars or a push-up board some of the new kids be using. I think that just gymnastic rings, without even knowing how to properly train on them yet, will already get a big part of the job done. But I'm not saying it's gonna get every single part of the job done. If you actually want to get the full result from just calisthenics training in general, you need to know how to execute the exercises properly. And that is exactly why I've also created the Jacked by Calisthenics Blueprint program. This is the exact program I have used for years, and now I have made it available for you. You are now going to be able to gain muscle within 6 months time, go from skinny to jacked with the exact blueprint I use on myself and my members that are inside right now. So if you want to hop in there right now and start gaining muscle within 6 months time, go to the top link in the description, because every single detail is down below, and I will see you inside. So when I'm referring to execution, what am I exactly talking about? Because execution is a lot of things. It is range of motion, it is the speed, the tempo, it is the way you're doing it when it comes to the form, it is what type of exercises you actually should do in your routine. What is execution in calisthenics? Well, first off, let's talk about tempo, because a lot of y'all are treating calisthenics way too wrong, and the reason why you're treating it wrong is because there's one thing off, and that's your tempo. Now, this is, I would say, 90% of the new calisthenics athletes. Their tempo is off. Then the other 10% is pure form. I think that most people actually have their form quite right. Most people, when it comes to pull-ups, they can do their pull-up form the way that they're doing it right now and gain muscle just fine, right? When you take a look at my pull-up form, it's definitely not perfect, and I don't do it with the perfect arch and the perfect this and the perfect squeeze and stretching at the bottom. Sometimes I don't do that shit at all. Sometimes I'm just trying to get stronger with the reps. So that part of the calisthenics training, you could actually build muscle with however you're doing it right now. But you are doing it wrong in the tempo aspect of calisthenics training. Now, this is 90% of the athletes. 90% of the athletes do this way too fast, or when they're getting over-optimized mindset, like they're gonna do it way too slow, and then they're gonna skip out on reps, more effective reps. But which one are you? First, you have to identify that for yourself. So let's say you are the type of guy who does it way too fast. The first change that you need to make into your routine right now with your push-ups, your pull-ups, your dips, and your pike push-ups and your rows is changing of the tempo when it comes to the negative way down. Just the negative portion of the movement. You don't have to change the actual concentric. You don't actually have to change that. In my opinion, that concentric concentric movement should be done as explosive as you can. A lot of people make the mistake of trying to do that slow as well, but then you're really just wasting out on potential strength that could be there to build muscle. In my opinion, the most effective way of doing it is controlling the negative part of the movement. Why? Because we are stronger in that area, right? When we take a look at the pike push-up, are you able to last longer in the negative part or in the concentric part? So the way down or the way up? For every single one of you, 100% of you, it's the way down, because that is where we're just stronger in. The way up is way more difficult. That's where we're weak. That's where we have to build the strength. But how do we build the strength in general first to be able to eventually become stronger in the overall movement? That is by practicing the negative, and that is the lowering part of the movement. So let's say we have the pull-up, the dip, the squat, lunges, pike push-ups, and rows. These are the best exercises that you can use. I've covered it in every single one of my videos so far. I do believe that if you do not do these exercises consistently enough, you're not gonna see the most progress that you could actually see. If you're choosing another bunch of exercises and you're trying to prioritize that over the real main source, the real deal, trust me, you're gonna make less progress than the guy who actually does take this advice very serious. So take those exercises, right? Take a look at every single exercise that you are doing right now. Which exercise is for you the easiest to do? For me, it was always pull-ups. I was always solid at pull-ups. Not when I just started off, because I could only do like 3 pull-ups when I just started calisthenics training. But the progress went up very quickly, and right now I can do like 40 pull-ups in a row. So that is my best movement, the pull-up. I can do 60 kg pull-ups. I could basically do 80 kg pull-ups, 60 kg pull-ups for reps and sets, whatever. Those are my strong reps. That is my strongest exercise. So what is automatically gonna happen? And this is something that you've never heard about in calisthenics training. Your ego is gonna go up. Now, what is gonna happen when your ego goes up? You're gonna wanna do more and more and more. But this is the thing about calisthenics. More is not always better. More is usually not really the answer for muscle growth, especially when it comes to the exercise that we have picked, because pull-ups, just the basic reps of pull-ups, we can eventually progress towards like 20 reps in a row. But eventually, we could be missing out on potential gains if we keep doing those 20 reps per set. We could also, on the other hand, and this is something that has to do with execution, we could change the exercise, execute it differently, and in this case, change the tempo to be able to lower the reps a little bit so that we can up the strainage, up how hard we're actually working per set, and that way we can gain more muscle. You need to basically pick the exercise for you that you can do easily. Let's say it's dips. You could always do a lot of dips, right? If that's the case, make the dip harder, man, because most of the time your ego is gonna shoot up with dips and you're only gonna do more, and you're gonna wanna do, plates on the dips, and you're just gonna be doing some shit reps because you're strong at dips. That's your mindset, which is totally normal, and that's how you do become stronger, is having a little ego in you. But if you really wanna build muscle reliably, cut down the weights, cut down the reps, start focusing on your execution, make it a little bit more difficult for you, strip the ego, and that's how you're gonna be building more muscle than you already are right now. The moment when I did this, trust me, bro, the moment when I did this, my muscle growth literally exploded. And when I say exploded, I'm not even over exaggerating, I'm being serious. It exploded. So when I'm saying my pull-ups were insanely strong, I could do 80 kg pull-ups, 40 reps pull-ups, like 20 reps for multiple sets in a row. Literally, I'm talking 10 to 20 sets in a row. I've did workouts where I was doing 50 minutes of 10 pull-ups every single minute. So 500 pull-ups in 10 minutes. I did crazy shit like that. So my ego was getting higher and higher and higher. I was like, yo, I'm the best pull-up athlete in the fucking world. I do still believe that I'm one of the greats, bro. But I wanted to build my physique up a little bit more. I wanted to get more back growth. I wanted to see more growth in my muscle journey, right? So I had to make a change, and that is exactly what I did. Everything that I just explained to you. Changing up the execution, making exercises more difficult, exploring a new side of calisthenics, right? Because listen, most people, they just want to focus on the things that they're good at, but not focus on the things that they need to improve, such as different grips, different speeds of motion, different range of motion. Every single one of those things can be changed today, and you will already notice more growth in your back, chest, whatever exercise you're doing it with, whatever muscle you're targeting next month. I'm telling you, it happened with me in a month. Same thing with Matthijs. He has been training with me for quite some time now, and like 5 months ago, he started training with me consistently, right? At least 3 times a week. And just with 3 to 4 to 5 times a week of working out consistently, upper body training, leg day he still did in the gym, but upper body training, he started to gain muscle insanely fast, and it's the exact same blueprint I used on my members that are inside Jack by Calisthenics. So if you want to make progress like that yourself, the link is in the description. This is exactly where you should be if you really want to see the crazy gains in 6 months time. I'm telling you, if you follow every single thing that I do in here, plus of course the tips that I give out for free on YouTube, you're going to see crazy results within 6 months time. I have done it, my tights have done it, multiple members have done it. Now it's time for you. Let's get into it. So now we're going to talk about how to apply a different type of execution in the main 3 exercises that you should always include, and that is the push-up, the pull-up, and the dip. Now these 3 exercises are the foundation of your growth, the foundation of your strength, the foundation of your knowledge about calisthenics. This is where it all begins. Now you probably already know this, but the push-up, the pull-up, and the dip should be probably done in a little bit of a different way by you to be able to gain more muscle in the long run, right? So what are we going to be doing? First off, when we take a look at the push-up is very effective in and of itself. When you're doing fast, slow, doesn't matter what type of variation you're doing, you're going to see some progress with it because it's just very reliable. I can do half rep push-ups all day and still build a big chest through that. Why? Because it's such a good exercise. I can do full lockout push-ups extremely fast. That's how I've built my chest in the first place. That's how I've built the foundation. But to push gains further and to really become an advanced athlete, I had to make 3 simple changes. 1, range of motion. 2, speed of the negative. And 3, actually making the variation way more difficult so that I could get insane pain out of those muscle fibers, right? Because I wasn't getting that with those high reps. So listen, something that you could include right now is start doing deficit push-ups. Instead of doing the normal push-up all day, start elevating your hands so that you can go deeper than what the ground would usually allow you to go. And by the way, a key thing that I really want you to do, don't just do the deficit push-up because I said it. Actually use the range of motion of it, bro. Because just doing a deficit push-up without using the range of motion, for example, on a few boxes or on the rings, without using the range of motion, then you could basically just do push-ups on the ground again. It doesn't make a difference. So if you want to make the best progress with deficit push-ups, use the deficit. Actually go deep on them, gain progress like that, and that's exactly how you're going to get a bigger chest. Now, second change that you can make is use the deficit push-up with the range of motion plus the crazy slow negative. So just try it for once, bro. Just try a push-up workout or a chest workout, whatever type of routine you have, and go extremely slow on that negative and push the fuck up. Do that for about 8 to 12 reps with a variation that is very hard for you. It could be decline, it could be weighted, it could be going extremely deep that almost puts you in an uncomfortable position. Do whatever you need to do to be able to make it as hard as physically possible. Third change that you can make is start by using rings deficits and by actually using the rings where it's the most effective, which is by bringing the rings close together and widening it up on the way down. This way you're gonna get a deeper stretch on your chest and an insane squeeze on the top of the movement. That way your chest is going to experience soreness tomorrow. I can guarantee you that. If you try it out today, trust me, you will gain soreness. And if you, by the way, want your own rings with a discount code, the second link is in the description. Go to the Gore Nation website, use my code BARS10 and get your rings, get all your equipment that you need, and go ahead and gain muscle. Then with the Jack by Calisthenics program. Then when it comes to the pull-up, the easiest change that you can make is of course using a slower negative on the way down. Now why is that so important? That is because usually when you're doing pull-ups, especially in the calisthenics world, you're not used to doing a very slow negative. Most of the time we're used to doing fast reps, quick reps, as fast as possible, do as much as possible, as much weight. But the moment you start slowing down the negative, this is when your back is gonna experience a whole new pain level, a whole new pain barrier. And we all know, when you push that pain barrier further and further, your muscles need to adapt. So what does that mean? They're going to fucking grow. Second change that you can make to your pull-ups is changing the grips to your weakest variation, man. In my opinion, you should now, if you're at intermediate or if you're already kind of advanced, you should stop doing the regular pull-up. For F's sake, bro. Please stop doing the regular pull-up. Just start focusing on variations that you're weak at, that you are not exploring yet. Just try to explore the newest side of calisthenics that you haven't done ever before. So it could be close grip ring pull-ups, like these commando pull-ups. It could be wide pull-ups. It could be behind the neck. Those are 3 variations that I've been doing consistently, and it has been treating me very, very well. Same thing when it comes to the rows. I've just been implementing rows. I said, you know what? Instead of doing pull-ups all the time, let me do some horizontal rows so that I can actually gain some thickness in my back. Now, when it comes to the dips, the easiest change that you can make, stop doing them on the bars, start doing them on rings. When you do dips on the rings, you're first off going to be having to stabilize yourself, which feels absolutely amazing for your chest. You're going to be feeling a way different type of tension on your chest. Your shoulders are now going to be working with it as well to gain shoulder size. and you can get more out of less weight this way. Now, what does that mean? Getting more out of less weight basically means that you can now lower the weight of dips or lower the reps and get more out of your body weight or lighter weight. And that's what you do on rings, because rings are difficult in and of itself, even without weights. So the most important thing to do with each and every single one of these exercises is increase the tension. Now listen, most of y'all know that just time under tension is not going to build you muscle. But I do believe that time under tension through your reps, so in your reps, is going to absolutely build your more muscle. If time under tension, just time under tension would build you muscle, then we would be able to do a push-up hold for 2 years straight and then we would have the biggest chest in the world, right? But it doesn't work like that. It reacts to stimulus. But how can we actually stimulate the muscle more? It's by putting our muscles more under tension during our repetitions. So I'm not talking about just holding a chin-up hold and expecting all the bicep growth. No, it's by doing slow chin-ups, actually slowing on the way down so that we can get a bigger tension on our biceps and hold it there for longer so that we really suffer. When we suffer during exercise and after that you're done and now you realize like, holy shit, my shit is pumped the fuck up. That is exactly when you're gonna be entering a new growth spurt, as I like to call it, in muscle growth. That's exactly what you wanna do. So increase the time under tension within the reps. Now everything that I just explained here and everything that you need to know is in the Jacked by Calisthenics Blueprint program. Trust me, bro. If you really just want to see that progress, if you're just tired of not really being jacked, but maybe you're not really skinny anymore, or maybe you are very skinny, but you just want to see that real muscle growth that you want and strength as well, and you really want to know how to train for hypertrophy with calisthenics, just click the top link in the description. This is the program that all of the members inside are using consistently every single day to gain muscle every single day. So if you want that, the top link is in the description. And also watch this video right here, because in this video I'll explain you some more reasons why you're not actually building muscle with calisthenics.